Why standardized tests should be abolished. Each school in the U.S. has to take some form of a standardized test. One of the most common forms of standardized tests are the ACT and the SAT, which students normally start taking their junior year of high school. Tests are one of the top stressors for students. They are so stressful because they are time tests. Also, even if you study for them, you might not be studying the correct material that is on them because you don't really know what's going to be on the test. So you kind of just hope for the best and you study as much as you possibly can. This is why I think standardized testing should not be taken. Standardized tests should be abolished because of all the testing anxiety it gives to students. And in this diagram here, 31% of people think that standardized testing is helpful for students, and 68% of people think standardized testing is not helpful for students. I think schools should come up with a different way to test the knowledge of students instead of using time standardized testing. This is because a lot of students have anxiety about taking tests that they might not know a lot about, or that they might not do good on the test, and that since they're timed, so they're more worried about how long it's going to take them, how many minutes they have per question, and all that kind of stuff. Roughly around 16% of college and high school students have testing anxiety, and about 18 of them have a higher form of testing anxiety. This number keeps growing and growing each year. Overall, I think that state and national school boards should abolish standardized testing and should come up with a new plan to test students on their education. I do not think students should be forced to take standardized testing, especially since we are in a global pandemic. This is because a lot of schools have had to go to online learning throughout the past year, and some students are not learning to the best of ability that they can. NBC News said that in the fall of 2020, third graders in Columbus, Ohio skipped school because they had to take a standardized reading test. Because of this, it does not give the school an accurate read on how the students are doing, so this is why they should get rid of it. Because of the pandemic, Joe Biden did not want to get rid of standardized testing. In conclusion, teachers would much rather be teaching their students new material than their students sitting in chairs for 3 to 4 hours taking tests. I also think that standardized tests should be abolished so that it takes a lot of stress off of the students and they can worry more about what their test is on and to focus more on each question. Students with bad testing anxiety do not like standardized tests. This is why standardized tests should be abolished, because of the students with really bad testing anxiety. Thank you for listening to my speech. Does anybody have any questions?
How much is the ACT?
The ACT costs, I think, around like $55, but you can take it more than once, but it gets kind of pricey after you take it a couple times. But the first one's free through your high school.
Can testing anxiety last forever?
It could last forever, but most of the time it just kind of lasts when your duration through school.
And when can you tell you have developed a testing anxiety?
You can tell when students become really discouraged really fast. They don't want to study for their exams at all. They get really nervous before their test. They don't want to even be there, and they kind of just lock up and freeze.
Okay. Now, do you think as a teacher you can help students with their testing anxiety?
I think as being a teacher, you can help students with their testing anxiety because you could give them a little extra help. You can have more study sessions. You can encourage them to do good on their tests and to study hard for them, and that they can do the best of their ability. That it doesn't matter how much time it takes. Thank you.